Hi, my name is Matia Chang, and for my case study analysis, I will be doing it on case study number 25, Starbucks. Let's go over the history of Starbucks. The first Starbucks was started in 1971 by three entrepreneur Seattle brothers. Their names were Jerry Baldwin, Zev Ziegel, and Gordon Bauer. They were selling whole bean coffee in Seattle's Pike Place Market. As business continued to boom, by 1982 there was five Starbucks, a roasting facility, and a wholesale business selling coffee to local restaurants. Through business encounter, they met Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz eventually became their marketing manager. Howard Schultz was also the original person who came up with the idea to create an Italian-style coffee bar. But the owners did not agree. So in 1986, Schultz opened his first coffee bar where he sold Starbucks coffee. After its success, he opened his second shop in Seattle and then Vancouver, Canada. By 1987, the owners of Starbucks finally agreed to sell Starbucks to Schultz for $4 million. The first 3 years was hard for Schultz. The company encountered roughly $1.2 million from the fiscal year of 1989 to 1990 as overhead and operating expenses ballooned with the expansion. But by 1991, sales shot up 84% and the company broke out of the black. So now that we have gone over the history of Starbucks, of how Starbucks started, let's head on over and talk about the corporate level strategy. Starbucks' corporate level strategy is the broad differentiation strategy. This strategy involves making the business and its products different from any other coffeehouse firms. They are able to achieve this through high quality and uniqueness of products, and their continued innovation of new products such as drinks and snacks. Starbucks is the leading market share of specialty coffee, but in most recent years, Caribou Coffee, Dunkin' Donuts, and McDonald's has been a major threat to that. McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts, most recently, has started to target Starbucks' growing customer base with high-quality Arabic brews at lower cost than Starbucks beverages. McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts both are using the low-cost strategy. McDonald's was founded in 1948 with 36,000 restaurants in 119 countries. They generated alone $27.4 billion in sales, and the creator of McCafe in 1993, Anne Brown, created a high-end coffee beverages that is similar to Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts was founded in 1948, originally called Open Kettle Donut Shop, but later changed their name in 1950. They have 11,000 outlets in 30 countries, and they also own Baskin Robbins and to-go sandwiches. They have a total of $748.7 million in sales in 2014, and they just recently started offering special drinks in 2003. Caribou Coffee was founded in 1992. They have 470 coffee houses in 20 states. They generated 326.5 million sales in 2012. And they also sell roasted coffee to grocery stores and has a licensing agreement to make single-serve K-Cups for Keurig, just like Starbucks. Even though they went private in 2013, they are still a threat. So what differentiates Starbucks from its competitors, you may ask? Well, Starbucks only use the highest quality beans, like Arabic beans, and Starbucks bean procurement standards are very demanding. For example, they conduct exacting experiments in order to get the proper balance between flavor, body, and acidity. And on top of that, their brews are subjected to cupping. Cupping is a process similar to wine tasting. It's where you inhale the steam and then spit it out to evaluate the aroma and taste. Starbucks also use Nerino Supremo bean crop. Nerino Supreme bean crop is a small Colombian crop grown only in the high regions of the Cordillera mountain range. Usually it's used for upgrading blends, but Starbucks only use them as a pure varietal. And on top of that, Starbucks purchased the entire yield, creating a competitive advantage against its competitors. Starbucks is also exclusively a carrier of Nerino Supremo, one of the best coffees in the world. So not just carrying specific types of beans that makes Starbucks different, but also their roasting process. Starbucks roasts their own beans, and they also train their employees to judge the roasted coffee just based off of the smell, sight, and hearing. That's pretty crazy. And on top of that, unlike most companies, Starbucks invests in securing high visible locations, innovating in its menu, and building an iconic known brand. Majority of companies, they like to focus a lot on advertising, and Starbucks does not do that. And also, Starbucks also likes to develop consumer relationships. They focus a lot on that. They make sure that they encourage their employees to help customers make decisions regarding beans, grinds, and coffee espresso machines, and how to brew them at home. So now that we have talked about Starbucks history, Starbucks competitors, and what differentiates Starbucks from its competitors, let's talk about the SWOT of Starbucks: the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. The strength is that Starbucks is an undisputed world leader in specialty coffee retail with over $16 billion in revenue. They have a global presence, well over 60 countries, with a skilled workforce and deep penetration of stores across the globe. Not only that, but they're a recognized brand with high-quality products and reputation of social responsibility, making it a target for investors as well as consumers across the world. They have a high gross profit margin, for example, 58% in 2014, as well as a high return on equity and return on assets as compared to its peers. Starbucks also have a high standard of quality while procurement of coffee beans and ensuring the proper balance of flavor, acidity, and body in every cup of coffee. Starbucks' special roasting technique is done in the private facilities, differentiating it from its competitors, as well as being able to sell coffee and experience due to the unique ambience that's provided in the Starbucks coffee bars and the robust training programs for employees, as well as setting a benchmark in terms of employee-employer relationship programs that are not restricted in domestic markets but also international. So those were some of the strengths of Starbucks. Let's now talk about the weakness of Starbucks. Some of the weakness of Starbucks, I would have to say, would be the high dependence on coffee business could pose a risk due to its fluctuations in coffee output or pricing, as well as the high pricing of their products could be a issue for developing markets like India who can't afford it, as well as the low investment in advertisement compared to its competitors could pose an issue. Could be an issue. And then there's some opportunities I believe Starbucks have. Some opportunities Starbucks have would be their international markets. As their domestic market reach a mature state, they should start focusing on their international markets, as well as diversification into other products, like on their menu. For example, food products, drink options. Those are some of the opportunities they could work on. And then last but not least, the threats of Starbucks. Some of the, like I mentioned before, some of the threats of Starbucks would be in its domestic market. For example, competitors like McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts targeting Starbucks customer with high quality coffee offerings at a lower price is an issue, as well as the competition in international markets. And also the disruption in supply chain could be a threat to Starbucks as well.